think a coolamon is? Well, a coolamon is that strange sort of word that really sounds Aboriginal, and in a sense is, but is partly a European word. It's like boomerang and didgeridoo and bunyip. It's a European word to describe a whole host of Aboriginal things. And a coolamon, well, each of these is a coolamon. It's a wooden receptacle used for, well, for various things. These were made out of curved bark, and although they're made in different fashions, some of them were in fact made of carved wood, you can still see on the banks of rivers the places where coolamons were gathered. That's a coolabah tree, and you can see the scar in the bark. Don't look at the upstream side. Any scar you see there is probably a log that's been carried downstream in a flood. But if you look downstream, you'll often find these blazes, and that's probably the site of a coolamon. Well, a coolamon in that case was made out of a piece of bark that was cut out and curved around. These were made by the Pitjantjatjara out of carved wood. The carved shell of a root of gum tree, for example, or a mulga tree. And that's the traditional form. It was coated with red ochre on the outside and often had furrows on the inside. Large ones were known as piti, and they were used for collecting water. Little ones as wirro, and they were used for digging. But there was a whole range of them for different purposes, including winnowing of seed. You see, when the seed was gathered, it came with bits of stick and grass and all sorts of things. And that was a mixture that wasn't very good to eat. But by putting it in a coolamon and shaking it up and down in the right sort of way, you could separate the two. Now, I'm not very fast at this. Aboriginal women were very much faster than I am, but you can see even now the chaff's going up to the top and blowing away, and the seeds all left down the bottom. And that was very much easier then to deal with and grind into and bake into cakes. So those were coolamons of a type. But that technique of curving bark was used for very much larger items as well. If you look at large trees beside a river, you'll often see things like this. This is the River Murray. To get across it, you needed a boat, and to fish in it, you needed a boat. And these trees show you where a large bark canoe was cut out by the Aborigines. One slice of bark was curved around and fashioned into a canoe. And these were made large enough not only to bear the fishermen, but even one or two passengers as well.
I want to know. Curiosity.